When you were saying about your mentors, you didn't mention any technical mentors, which is really interesting because one of the feedbacks that I get when I interview poker players is, why didn't you ask him anything about poker? This guy never asked him anything about poker. I think that's partly because I don't really know a lot about poker, so it's not really my thing. But there's also part of me that says, well, there's all these technical, like this is a Run It Once podcast. Run It Once has a very highly technical training area, and I recently said to Phil, an email came out to me from the training site and it didn't pimp up these type of interviews. And I said, why not? Like this is life. Like, how can you be a good poker player if you're not good at life? Like, we want to.
Very true. Very true.
But you didn't mention anyone technical. Was that just an oversight, or was there a reason for that?
I mean, it wasn't a conscious reason, but the reason is that I've never really had a poker guru before. The only person I've ever learned poker off is Evan Jarvis from Grips, and I watched his bankroll challenge when I was moving up the stakes, and it was very, very instructive. So shout out to Evan Jarvis. It was definitely accelerating my progress. But apart from that, I've never had a session of coaching, or I had one, and then the coach messaged back saying, I don't think there's anything I can teach you. So not gonna coach you anymore. And interestingly enough, that was actually a session on GTO coaching. I've never learned GTO. I'm the vocal proponent of, when you're learning poker, I think it's very detrimental to be put in these boxes that GTO puts you into, and I think it's better to learn intuitive poker before you learn this. But GTO also has come very intuitively to me. So like the different lines that people take, I'll every now and again, this is going to sound very arrogant, and I really don't mean it to be. But every now and again, my friend Ben, who runs loads and loads of PO Solver GTO solutions, he'll be like, oh yeah, PO Solver takes this line that you were doing like 5 years ago, that no one else was doing. And it would just be because I had an intuition for the game, and it happened to be, in this case, something that would align with what game theory would say. So yeah, I've never really enjoyed learning from other people. Like, I'm learning chess right now, and I'm not getting any coaching. I'm not learning many of the openings, and I love the sensation of working something out for myself. Okay. I absolutely adore that sensation. I think that not everyone can do it. If I were learning dance, I would need a teacher, because I'm not naturally talented at dance, but I am naturally talented at poker. So I can learn it all for myself. And then I think when somebody learns for themselves, it's like you have a few people that when they're learning a new skill of the world, or a new skill for themselves, it's like you're hacking your way through a jungle with a machete. You're like cutting down these vines, and one attacks you, like, okay, don't go this way next time. And you try and take the safest path. You have to go, around the river instead of over the river. You have to learn all these different things, and then you can teach people. And then you can be like, oh, hey guys, and come back and drag and bring them. Okay, go around this, watch out for that vine, and duck in here and go around the river. And I feel for poker that's what I've done, and that's what I really enjoy doing. But when you are hacking through these vines and you learn everything, that's when you get a deep understanding of the jungle, of the domain that you're trying to be an expert in. That's where you get a deep understanding, because you know what it's like to fall down that pit. So when I'm teaching poker, and this is something that I don't believe the poker world does at all, I don't teach people, hey, this is what you should do in this spot, this is what you should do in this spot, this is what you should do in this spot. I teach people, this is how to think. I'm not going to tell you the next step. Go out and do it yourself, and then come to this next step. Think like this, perhaps. This might be really helpful. A lot of people make this mistake. Maybe stop thinking about where you are in your range, more about what the opponent's range is and how to exploit that, for instance. And I will always try and let them become their own genius. I'll always try and let them manifest that spark of creativity, because I think that's what creates an extraordinary poker player, or an extraordinary something else, a photographer or something like that.
If you're enjoying the way that I'm speaking about poker, teaching poker, I do have a website, charliecarrel.com. Link is in the description below. You'll find on there a mindset masterclass, which I think is the most important, teaching you how to deal with tilt, anxieties, ambition, things like that. You'll find a poker masterclass completely teaching you how to restructure the way that you think about poker. And you'll find a complete archive of the bankroll challenge.